Hey, and welcome back. So yeah, we're working on installing heated elements or the elements into a your car seat, truck seat, whatever you want. We're going to use the '09 Sentra seat here, the SE model. We'll go through the package I got here. I think I bought this one off AliExpress. The exact same thing is sold on Amazon, eBay. You just get it a bit cheaper. Takes a little longer to get here, but you can get it a little cheaper from AliExpress. Same thing. We'll have a quick look here. I'll unpack the whole thing, but basically what we got here was I ordered the package that came with switches, wiring, the whole 9 yards, and it comes for 2 seats. I can't remember the price. We'll put that down in the description. They're not super expensive and that. So yeah, we'll go through the package as we go. So it comes with everything, and we'll talk about them a bit more. Dropping parts. Yeah, the hardest thing will be how you go about pulling your seat apart. So easiest part is actually unbolting it from your car and pulling it out, or your truck. We'll have a look here. I'll show you. I kind of started looking at how to take this one apart. So these clip back, I just pulled that through, but that actually is just like a little hook catch that goes back through and catches on the bottom. And it has the same on the bottom, but the problem I run into, you can't quite see it there, there's a indent here like this on the bottom part that has the rings, the hog rings there. So that makes it a little bit more difficult getting here. I have to detach those, basically pull them out, and I'll have to put new ones in. We'll see how we go with that, but I'm thinking I just take them off at the back, but I'm starting to look at that maybe I'll have to take the top part away, unbolt it, pull it and unbolt it, so I can get access to the bottom here a bit easier. The top is not hard. You can actually pull that up and I can actually get under there, so I could actually just slide the element in on that one. It's this bottom one that's the tricky one, but that's almost the hardest thing with these kits. I say they are cuttable. So you can cut them down to size. I say all the wiring's with it, the switch, everything comes with it. So this is for 2 seats there, all the instructions and so on there. So it makes it fairly easy. So the hardest part really is getting them into your seat. So okay, so I managed to get the actual seat part off from there. It actually just, it's got these little hook runners. They just hook on to pass underneath, so it's not actually connected like permanently. You can just unhook them. On this particular one, you'll have to look what yours is. And then I'm looking down here. I might have to come in sideways, might be the easiest way to slide it in sideways, the element, and then just run the wire however I need to. So I'm just going to put it in this part here, the actual element, because all these parts here are all secured with rings just to pull everything down to give it definition. And that, so yeah, I've only got like 3 of these along the side here, which might be the easiest way to go, and then just have to slide it in there, be the easiest. Just be careful of everything. It's got like the sensor pressure back there. I mean, remember, you got airbags and everything else in here, so you got to be careful of all this stuff. I've still got the wire that runs, because it runs up through the actual bottom part of the seat and then up, just to keep the wire secured. It runs up through this bottom piece, so that's why I'm looking at going in sideways here and that. So I'll get the pliers and I'll pull those out and just see, because you got to remember too, you want to you're wanting to get the rings back through these things here. This is the first time kind of pulling, or actually doing the elements and pulling seat covers off an actual factory seat. So Okay, so we pulled out the 3 little hog rings that were there, and that gives me access into that cavity now. Like I said, the hardest thing would be, so yeah, when you secure the rings again, it goes around this piece of plastic in there, and then it's got like a wire running through the seat. Is what you have to reattach it to. So yeah, we'll pull these elements out and start looking at those and how I'm going to get them in there and how they go in and see how that looks. Okay, we just unpacked a lot of stuff here. So again, this kit comes for 2 seats. The other elements just sitting up there right now. It comes with the wire loom, control boxes for each side, and it does come with the switches. I've already put those in, installed those into the car. They just plug in there and that. Not sure what this is. It does already have adhesive tape on both sides of here, which may be a bit tricky to get in. So I'm gonna have to work that one out a little bit better maybe. So reading a bit more online about it, so you can cut across. Obviously you can't cut up, otherwise you're just going to cut the circuit going through the middle. So it's this way, you can cut this way to length. I might trim a bit of this off just so I can get it closer into the little area that I do have in here, in this little rectangle area. And then we're trying to work out how to do the adhesive. I'm thinking I might leave it on because it has to go that way down, I believe. Yeah, because it'll be sticking that way. Whatever way it goes up, I'll slide it in and then try to reach in and pull the adhesive tape off and then press it down. Otherwise it's just not going to slide in there, obviously. It's just going to get stuck on everything. So that's what we're going to try and do. Actually, I might go that way, sorry. Makes more sense. But yeah, that's what we're going to try and do. So yeah, we'll cut it. I still don't know what that is. It doesn't seem to... Oh, I think I know what it is. It's for insulating across. You have to, when you cut it, you need to insulate the edge off so you don't short circuit anything. I think that's what this tape is. You go across for one, top, bottom for each side. So that's what that'll be for. Makes sense, it does. Okay, let's get into that and see if it works. Okay, so I've marked it out where I want to cut it. So straight across, and then we'll seal it off there. Doesn't short out. I did trim a bit of this off in here just so I could bring it back and get more element into that little area in here for the actual bottom piece there. Just be careful, there are, I just pulled it up and just made sure you could see the wires there, so I wasn't cutting through those, otherwise it will not work. So that's our piece all cut. The little 4 pieces they give you kind of only fit in between, so I don't know if that's only the place it needs to be insulated, but I just checked a little bit of duct tape on both ends just to cap off the wire, exposed wire ends there. But yeah, I think what I need to do now is try and get this wire underneath here somehow. Like I said, I'm not going to take off any of the adhesive right away. I'm going to just kind of reach in there and try and pull it off, and so it sticks later on. Okay, so to get it in there, it's a little tricky. The adhesive I got kind of stuck here and kind of here. When I was trying to pull it off, it kind of ripped here and here, so I got bits and pieces of it off. So it kind of works, but it's about the easiest way because it would be definitely impossible to, because I was trying to adjust it after I stuck this other side down, and it just, it's too rigid. So that's the best way I can think about doing that. I actually had a look on which way to face it down. So it's the hang on, let's see, the piece I threw out here. So yeah, That faces down to your seat, obviously, and then this is the part that faces up to you. This is what I could understand from the instructions. Hopefully that's right. I can't see it sticking any other way anyway. It wouldn't stick to your actual cover. The foam would just tear off there. This is a lot more tactile for the adhesive. Yeah, and we just poked it out the back. I managed to find a gap underneath the join there, so get that out. See if I can get the hog rings back in here and get this all seated back down to where it needs to go, and then we'll work on the top part. Okay, so this particular kit comes with actual with the hog rings, 3 different sizes. Not a lot of instructions, no instructions really. So I found, yeah, you mount the actual ring in first, and then you just push it over the part you want to overlap, and then crimp it. Way easier. Yeah, I was trying to put the ring on, then crimp it. That does not work at all. So you mount the ring in first that you want, and then push down on the 2 pieces you want to hook together. Works excellent. Okay, I got that one all back in. So yet remains to see if it actually works, but we just tuck the wire out to the side. This is the passenger seat, so I've got the switches in the middle of the console, center console, between the 2 seats. So we'll try and, well, we will hook this up here somewhere. We'll keep the wires to that side though, and we'll for the top part here. But see if we can get this other element in. So there is, well, I didn't think of that before. There is enough tape. Yeah, to cut off the ends there to seal it off. So yeah, they do give you enough there. So yeah, I've cut that one. I didn't have to cut this so much because it does curve under there a little bit. Put it under on the wires, attach the lad again. Might see about just zip tying it, securing it to the seat here, some of the wire, so it doesn't move around too much. And then, yeah, because I don't think I'm going to run the wire loom, all that loom into the actual center console. There's too much of it. So I'm probably going to keep it out on one side, and then just have the actual switch connectors and what I need going to the actual console. Otherwise it would just be too much wire in there. It's only small car, small center console. If you have more room, then yeah, you can chuck the wire loom under there, or however it works for you. Okay, now slide this one under, do the same thing. See if it works a little bit better this time, pulling these off and securing it into there. Here we go. Okay, all in all, it wasn't that bad. It really depends on how you access the where you need to put them. You don't need to go pulling off the whole cage, whole cover. That's where we've got the wires running. Again, this is passenger seat, so everything's going to run to the left in North America. Other place in the world, check. Which side you going to run into? So yeah, now it's just running the wires, the loom there. Yeah, we'll just flip this around for you and show you. Back a little bit. So it all went back together fairly good. We've got our heating pad in here and one in the back here. So here and here's where we've got it. So that one went in a lot easier. I think it's just because it had better access. I folded the seat right back and then just slid it in. The adhesive tape was a bit tricky again, but still the better way to do it. I kind of missed a little bit coming off here, but it's still held there. This one came all the way off, and so it's stuck all the way on that side. So yeah, I'm still interested. When you put these things in, you always kind of wonder if they're going to work or not, but we will find out. Okay, so just a quick look at the wiring looms. So you can go with an option of, it can be, both seats can be plugged into one, but that would just be annoying. So I went to separate controls for each. So you'll have these spare seat each time, right, left and right, so not to get too confused. And then the one box plugs in. Again, if you just go for the one controller, one switch, controls both, you just need this, but I've got this for each seat. So as I was saying, just a bit of wiring for each. So I'll try and probably loop this up under the seat and just take what I need, mainly this part. I'll leave the fuse under the seat so it's easy to get to. And I'll just take this part, which controls the actual controller, which that will go into the middle console and up to the switch. And even then, it's got a bit of wire on. I may not have to put this under either. I can just zip tie that under the seat. So everything, all of this is kind of away. And I'm only having to slip the kind of smaller wire in and under the console. But just something to note, that yeah, they send you a controller that's can be plugged into both seats with one switch. But if you're going to go for separate controllers, you're going to get this for each side. And again, a bit of wire in there, but just loop it up under the seat there. Okay, with that being said, we'll get into putting this into the car. Okay, just a quick little snippet here. I actually finished installing them all and been using them for a couple of weeks, and the seats work really well. So just a couple of things I've found out. So like I said at the start there, your wiring loom is set up for 2 seats, so whichever way you want, but that's one set. Yeah, your back and your seat, bottom seat there, same with this one, yellow. So and your switch is set up for 2 as well. So this is, so when you order a set for 2 seats, all they do is send you basically 2 wiring looms and switch. But so the switch, you could just hook up to one side and then you'd only be using one side. But what I found is I've hooked one up to back. You've just got to work that one out yourself. So I left the red one on mine hooked up to back, and then hooked up the bottom heater there, seat heater, to the other side. So now both buttons on your switch here work. So one will control the back. 5 is the hottest, if you haven't worked that out. So yeah, so then you can individually control your back and your seat heat individually by just hooking them up to the 2 different. And you only need one plug. It doesn't matter which one, because they so if you hook up both heaters, it'll operate on through the one side, and then just one of the sides of the switch will control it. But you can actually split it to have, plug it into one of these and plug the other side into one of these. So it doesn't matter, you just can take the other one off if you like. You don't need it, and then you can control both sides, which is pretty handy. But like I said, I've been using them for a couple of weeks now, and they work really well. 5 is like super hot. So usually it's about 3. I kind of chuck it on to 5 to give it a quick heat up, and then down to a 3. That's the most comfortable. But yeah, so I thought let you know that. And yeah, we'll carry on with the video. Okay, I just tied up a lot of the wire, like the main looms itself. I've left the longer part that goes to the control box, because that's not so bad, and the wires to hook up to switchable positives and negs and all that stuff longer, because that's not so bad. I can kind of curl that up in the console, but the bulk of it I've just zip tied loosely underneath here. I will tape these off, because these will be live because this is a option if you're running off one switch. So we'll tape those off. We just run a 1/2 inch conduit just over that to give it a bit of protection and so on. Get from any Harbour Freight done states, crappy tire up in Canada. But there, that's pretty nice and kept away under there. So again, we'll just tape those off. Remember, they'll be live, so I would say tape them off. I'll just use a bit of electrical tape here, and I will tape around here just to hold that so it doesn't slip off. And okay, so it's been a couple of days. Got caught up doing some other things. Just in the process of wiring this, we're running some of the wires that I need for the seat. So first one we'll talk about, it might not be, I mean, it varies on the kit you get. Mine has the function of when you turn your headlights on, your dash lights, there it can illuminate the switches like everything else in a vehicle. So I tapped into one on the fan system here. So I just use one of these. If you haven't got one, you just one end is earth to the vehicle, to the metal frame, and then this, you take that little yellow piece off there, and then you just put it on the prongs. I actually use a little needle because the one of these is normal sewing needle, and I just sort of put it in the end of the socket there. I just unplug the air unit there, and then I just find the one I want. Then you just go along, you turn your lights on, find it, this will light up, and yeah, I can show you actually. Yeah, so you just earth it like that, and then we'll turn the lights on, and it should light up like that. And then if I turn my headlights off, it's off now. Pretty handy little tool, but that's the easiest probably way to find and to hook in for illumination if you're needing to run that, is to tie into something like that close. And that, the next thing I ran was the mine requires the red there. So the next wire is, yeah, the red. I ran that from the battery, the positive, sorry, not the red, but the positive, I ran that from the battery because it requires it. It does have a switchable that it needs, which I have already down here. I'll tap off this. So basically when you switch, when it's all plugged into the relay here and it switches, it'll switch from drawing power straight from the battery. And that way, because I've got you'll have both seats, and I've also got a set for the back seats as well. So yeah, so 10 gauge, 10 gauge I think I got there. Pretty heavy duty wire, carry a bit of current and amps. So yeah, that's where we are. I'm just cleaning that up. I had to order a terminal block for the positive, which we'll put in here somewhere. This will run under the carpet here. It'll pop up here, but we'll put the terminal block somewhere around here, and that, and then all the heated seat element, or when the wiring from each seat can tie into there. I've put a 4-prong plug again for each seat, can tie into the other end of that, and we'll plug it in. That's where we're at. Yeah, I'll have to wait for the terminal block to come probably on Monday, hopefully. We can tie that in. For now, I'm just gonna, I've ran all those wires, so I'm gonna probably put that other seat we finished off, and then I'll probably work on this, the driver's side today. Get all that ready, so when the terminal block comes, I can just hook it up. I'll run the other wires, like I'll run the yellow today. I'll hook that in. There isn't really much else. There's the switchable, and then there's a excuse me, earth, which will just either bolt it down to the frame there. But that's where we are. So yeah, I'll probably catch you on the Monday, another few days, 3 days away, and we'll try and tidy this up. Okay, so everything came yesterday. So I installed the terminal block. So this is the positive from the battery. The bigger wire there's the one coming from the battery. At the moment I've only got the 2 heated seats, so these are the 2 connecting into there. Kind of tied everything up, cleaned it up there. We actually took it for a drive yesterday and it actually worked pretty well. The only thing I had wrong was I'd actually put the plugs in the wrong. These are back to front. That's what I'm just cleaning up now. But they worked really well. They got 5 is the hottest setting, and that was like too hot. You could fry an egg on the seat. It was that hot. They do. You're probably going to need like maybe a 10-minute warm up, and that's the only downside to these digital switches, is that you can't leave them. They'll reset themselves every time you turn off, so if you have automatic start, they'll just come up as 0 and they won't be running. So maybe that's one thing about going to more to the clicker or the roller selection. That way they'll be on. If you want to leave that on, I mean, they're not on permanently. When you turn the key off, they will switch off. But if you have automatic start and it comes on, then at least your seats will be heated up when you jump in. But not a biggie right now. I'm not too worried. I'm just happy that they work. One thing I wanted to show you inside also was the fuse. Make sure you put one of those in from the battery, so if anything happens. I'm running a 40 amp fuse in there. Right now I've only got like 20 amp drawing from the inside with the 2 seats, 10 amp each. So eventually when I put the back ones in, they'll run 10 amp each, so it'll be drawing 40 and that potentially when they're all running at once. So yeah, just something to remember. Put a fuse in. You don't want your whole car burning or melting down. But no, I think that's it. So yeah, we'll catch you next time. Like, subscribe, and yeah.